Hello there. Hey, welcome to the April Easy Talks. Okay, come through. So hello, we're speaking a little bit loud because you are all the way over there. But welcome to the April edition of April 2024, because we're gonna see this, we're gonna speak it into existence. That we're gonna be easy talking in 2029 and 2032.
In Hawaii.
In Hawaii.
Paris.
Hey, girl. In Detroit. Worldwide, statewide. So as you can see, it's a whole lot going on here. So we are first and foremost celebrating, honoring, shouting out, sprinkling goodness on the one and only Zendalannette. So April Easy Talk is so special because, for one, it is Easy's birthday. My birthday was April 10th. My SS birthday is today, April 27th. And so for this month, we wanted to do something super duper duper special. So we have the one and only Tiffany with us. Tiffany.
Tiffany Lake Meadows.
Okay. Say it again a little bit louder so they can hear it all.
Tiffany Lake Meadows.
Yes, from Detroit with us. This is my SS's Ace Boom Comb. So we are celebrating her, and to make it extra, extra, extra special, we are debuting the one and only Queen Jenn's TeaTime with Jenn. Green girl, juice and tea. So I'm going to head over and let Jenn take it over while she describes what she is doing. What is Tea Time with Jenn? What do that mean? What is a tea party in 2024? What are the offerings? What makes her so special? Without any further ado, take it away, Jenn.
So, what woman, girl, young lady hasn't wanted to or been involved in a tea party or thought about it, watched it on TV and just been taken in by it? I know I sure have. I love tea. I love small intimate gatherings with people who I care about, who I feel offer things to me that accept what I offer. So I am here offering my services to you and wanting to throw you a tea party. I'm coming to you, to your space, or we try to find a space together to have this party. I'm going to mix the tea. I'm going to make the food. I cold press juice, all organic. It's all different, so whatever is in season is what we're getting. What I see in the store that's good is what we're getting. But I just want to open space up for women and young girls and even small children, if that's also a thing, to do children's tea parties. To have intentional, intimate space. So it's a party of 4 to 12 of your closest friends, including you. We have a lot of big subjects as women to talk about. We have a lot of people doing big things that should be talked about, should be noted, should be celebrated. So whether it's an achievement, a birthday, just a topic that you want to talk about and you want your closest friends there to talk about, let me come serve you tea and treats and let you enjoy your space with your people, with your queens. I mean, I'm not saying men are excluded, but it is the queendom.
Girl,
It's-
woman,
yeah, it is the movement. It is we are, I am, she is. So, yeah.
As I know our tiny queen feels very comfortable with that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you please take a moment to explain what you showed, that you're doing the 3-course for us? Can you explain what the courses are, how you took each course and blended it with specialty?
Okay, so the courses are, it's kind of a traditional three-course tea, so you have your savory, your scone, and your sweet. So that's kind of what I've thrown together. Because usually savory is pretty intense, right? So you get a lot of seasoning, you get a lot of flavor there. So I paired it with a lighter rooibos tea, with chamomile and lemongrass. So you'll get a moderate amount of caffeine, and it's just gonna be real light on your taste buds to go with the savory. For scones, I did a brown sugar scone with a brown butter, I think, to go with it, along with a honey, just a plain traditional honey scone, with a lemon blueberry jelly that I made from scratch.
She did. She did.
And with that, I have an Earl Grey tea. Earl Grey is gonna be a dark black tea that's gonna have your most caffeine, and I think that pairs nicely with a scone. It's not too sweet. You have your sweet things to add to it. I paired that with some cinnamon, sardines, allspice, cloves. So I was trying to really get something warm and sandalwoody like. I really tried. I hope that it gives that. I really hope it gives you that feel. I'm sure. So, and then for dessert, I'm not going to talk about what went wrong because it all happened on purpose. I have a chocolate mousse and raspberry phyllo dough tortlet and raspberry because I couldn't find peaches any friggin' where. So, to honor you, the raspberry is there. And I have just kind of a basic white cake, with lemon curd.
You said not basic at all, right?
No.
Right.
White cake, lemon and what better to go with something rich and sweet than some floral notes, right? So I have,
Surprise.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's our surprise. We gotta know her.
okay, so I lied. And so the chamomile and lemongrass is with a jade oolong, which is gonna give you your more green tea flavor. So the rooibos is gonna be with your lavender and rose. So, yeah.
I like that even better.
I know, I blended everything. Shop that I put on my page that I think everyone should check out. I have purchased all the intermediates and all those tea editions and mix everything up. Juice, I have a strawberry pineapple, and then I have mango.
That sounds so good.
That's pretty cute. It's called for smoothie. And I like to use everything. I don't want to waste anything. All my cooking, for the most part, is from scratch. I bought the bread. I haven't figured out bread yet. So I do everything from scratch. So getting like whole everything. So I use everything. So that's why I also offer the smoothie offer for more. So if you want, I'm not for their delight a lot. So,
Yeah. I do. Well, thank you so much. We are going to get our food and we are going to talk and eat and dive right on in. So let's get our plates.
Jen, I just have a question. How are we doing our cups in the moment?
okay, everything, the cups are all clean and washed. So everything in the cup is for you to put in your green bag and take home.
So we don't need our.
No, you
Okay,
don't
that's
need that. I
fine.
have brewed everything, steamed everything. For you.
With the honey. Yes. All right. right, so let us go ahead and get started, grab our place so we can jump into our questions as we are live and moving at the same
So
time.
we'll go first round then, right?
Yep,
Okay,
first
first round team, first round, or stay free. All right.
Yes, and then while you all are getting placed, I just want to explain to our audience that or those who are watching, the audience, viewers, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. This month, we are having a very special roundtable discussion on the audacity. So again, as everybody's getting their plates, I can describe what's happening, so that way when I get done talking, we can jump into questions. So, again, we're going to be discussing, the audacity. And this is not a topic that came randomly. This is not a topic that was selected, without so much intention and without so much deliberation and without so much love. This topic of audacity and what does it mean to be you wholly and fully and have the audacity to show up in shared space as you. This topic was hand selected as Zendalannette is releasing her third book, not first book, not second book, third book. The audacity convener. So we are kicking off the launch of this book with questions centered and focused on the audacity. So what's that going to look like today?
So what that looks like is being serious. So when we talk about audacity, what is it? Audacity is the willingness to take risks, to really show up boldly in who you are, who God created you to be, and what you're called to be as you traverse. And so we're going to have conversations on what that looks like. We're going to have conversations on sharing sacred spaces and what those sacred spaces entail. And like in a real like raw moment, this is community. This is community, right? And part of the audacity is curating, co-creating what that looks like. And for some, it's like, oh, it's a baby running around. It sure is, because as a community, we pour into each other. And that baby girl right there is a part of this community that we pour into. And even though she may be, how old is she? 2. How you? Her simple presence is really simply you having the audacity to still show up for you and bring her to be a part of this, because we're pouring into her, right? As we pour into each other. And she's actually pouring into all of us as well. So the audacity is really about living fully and wholly. So we're going to just dabble in some conversations to talk about what that looks like with this book. And this book is special to me from the sense of it is a compilation. And I wrote it in a weekend while I was away in Florida. And it's really something, it's a tool for me to be able to use to navigate. So where it is for all who chooses to purchase, because it went live today at 12:47. And you can follow me, just go to my IG, Zendalannette, or Conversation Consulting, and you'll see where you can pre-order your book. But it's tools, it's brand, it's a little thing. And this right here is part of that little thing. So yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to just have a free flow of whatever. Another round table. So
round table. So we're gonna grab our food also, because I do just want to honor and bless the food, bless Jenn. Nobody saw this coming. But I just want to honor the president, honor the hands that have prepared this delicacy for us to partake in. So you want to.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you just saying thank you. Thank you first and foremost. Thank you for allowing me to keep it. Dear God, thank you for this Queendom for which you saw fit to have each of us. Bless everybody that's here. Thank you for safe travels for all of us, and for my Ace for being a part of this with us. Dear God, thank you for the hands that prepared everything. Thank you for Jenn's, her purpose, her passion
allowing her to pour into everything that we're about to partake. May it be nourishment to our mind, body, spirit, and soul, and may it get supported in easy talk, practical, and it can reach everybody who is supposed to see it, hear it, and feel it. We love you. We pray for you. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you. All right, so do you want to jump into question?
Absolutely. May I have a little tea?
Of course.
Well, you sit there and then I'll nibble afterwards. I'm gonna mash.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies, so did you all have a chance to take a look at the question? I did. Yes, and we're gonna just dabble in it and pretty close, we're gonna lean into that throat chakra. And y'all know I love my chakras and how ironic and how intentional actually that we have the blue tablecloth for our top. Yes, it is very much on purpose. So today, let's start off with the audacity. So whoever wants to kick it off first, how have you, when you talk about audacity and prioritization, how have you been able to empower yourself to unapologetically focus on your own goals?
Can you say the question one more time?
Yes. I kind of did a remix on it.
That's what, yeah. I want No, the remix is fine. No, we
So share who in the order how you feel led to share. How can you share or share with us how you empower yourself to prioritize your well-being?
Go ahead, Gina G. I see you preparing.
When the audacity, okay. So the audacity of an individual to think that your feelings in your space don't matter is a very selfish thing to be. Because your space is yours to hold. Your feelings are also yours. Dismissing someone else's feelings, that's an audacity, right? You have the audacity to dismiss someone else's feelings. Everybody is allowed to feel. So instead, I feel like what I'm trying to learn to do, because I have someone who tells me I'm not good at this at all, is to say, this is how I feel about it. But you have a way to say that to someone in a different way. They might be triggered. I didn't mean it in a negative way. That's how I feel. And I need you to hear me because I'm allowed to be heard. And in my space, thinking you have the audacity to not listen to me, then that's how I keep myself. This is my space. And I have the audacity to speak how I feel in my space. If you don't like it, you can leave my space because I created it. You can create your own. That doesn't make me a bad person because I didn't want to share that space with you. Doesn't make me a bad person because my feelings trigger you because you feel a type of way about something I said. But our communication can be key on how we handle these. So for self-preservation, I'm learning to talk to people differently, but also learn that those are my feelings. But if it's in my space, I'm about to have them. And I don't have to feel that. If I'm in your space and I have feelings, I protect myself because that's your space. And your feelings is mine. But in mine, I have to have to keep it. And I am trying to stand from it. This is mine. No matter how you feel about what I feel, and I have the audacity.
And you know, the shared spaces like the Queendom is that, and we'll talk about this a little bit in choosing sacred spaces. When you're in sacred spaces, those feelings of offense are minimal, if at all, because you are intentional about the fact that we each feel, right? Because we each have our own vantage point and we're going to feel things. And when you are triggered, what do we talk about? It's your indicator to say, okay, what is going on? Why was I triggered about what you said? It's like a reflection. And what's interesting about this new book is that on the front, thanks sis. And she's also Erica's also an editor for this project. Mirror. She suggested, she was like, Z, what about mirrors in there? So mirrors are on the front of my books. So exactly.
Right, that part.
Yes.
Right.
And it's three
Yes.
of them, and each one is different, because we're all different at every stage. And because of those feelings, you have different emotions. And so when you look at the cover of this new book, it's 3 different reflections in it, because we're all mixed up with so many different parts.
Right.
And when you learn how to audacity to learn how to understand those parts, you learn how to navigate those parts. And you learn how to navigate with them. And in the sacred spaces, it's not about, oh, at least you offended me. It's a, wow, what you said kind of stirred something up. So I need to assess, and I'm not going to take it out on you, because this, I love you and I love me, and I want to reflect what it is in the world that I want to fit to and what it looks like. So thank you for sharing.
Yes, that was perfect. That was exactly that. Yes.
Yes.
Ladies, there's honey, lemon juice, white sugar, and brown sugar, and milk on the table. I wouldn't recommend milk in this tea. I would recommend maybe lemon juice and honey. If you choose sugar and spice up.
I'm drinking the air. It's amazing.
We do it here so well.
So would anybody else like to share? And we're talking about how you are able to empower yourself as an individual.
I'll share. Audacity for me, and how I feel that I was born with audacity, because I'm the type of person that I don't let other people bother my space. And if I feel someone is bothering my space, negative in my space, I deal with myself. I'm not gonna ask you what's wrong with you, because it's not my problem to work on you. You should know who you are. I'm not letting anyone intrude in my space. And I've been like that since I was a child. I have feelings. If I feel it's not right, I walk away. I walk away a lot, because it's benefiting me.
How do you navigate that? Like, I'm so curious, because that's something that I've really, it's been more recently that I have been setting that intention that, like, you doing you is not right, wrong, good or bad. It's my responsibility to take care of me. So if I don't like what you're doing, then I gotta move around. But why I say it's something that I'm just not working on is because I get to feeling bad. I get to making myself wrong. I get to trying to rearrange me to fit into the space that you provide, because I've had this inner longing to belong, to be seen, to be heard. And I honestly was more willing to change me than remove myself from your space. And I think that's just because of my yearning. So I'm just so curious, how do you
Early
navigate?
on as a child, I'm an only child.
Okay.
In every space that I went into, people already were clicked up. And I make friends, but then sometimes the friends wanted to be my friends because I had stuff. So early on, I've learned to learn who is for me, who wants something for me to benefit and move on, or who is actually with me. I've had since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I've learned, like, all of my friends who are in my space, they are real friends. And those who were with me and wanted to do me harm, they've been themselves.
Yes.
So just being confident in myself,
Yeah.
knowing that I have to take care of me, and we all have to take care of ourselves first, right? And if you can't take care of yourself and have that clear concept in mind, then how can you take care of yourself? And that means you don't let negativity in your space and suck from it.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Go ahead.
So resonating with why I had my daughter. I was in I'm sorry, I'm very mellow spoken. And I go into another thing too. I was growing up, I had a very difficult childhood, and I was maybe felt like I was bothered being around, or just hearing my voice period and speaking up was not wanted. So once I got to the age of becoming older, I went through a lot of trials of juvenile. I was in a lot of homeless shelters. I was in a lot of a lot of bad situations, and I started to realize that it was, the people that were around me that kind of made me feel like I was unwanted, which caused me to kind of go through the process of removing myself from situations where nobody really, needed me there. So, I mean, it was a crazy experience because right when I finally, finished everything and I guess accepted a lot of the, growth, I finally had her. And, like you said, if I wasn't able to take care of myself, how would I be able to take care of anyone else? So right when I completed that whole little journey, I guess the true test came with her.
Absolutely.
And now I'm just like, yeah, I'm on a whole different, persona, a whole different way of caring for things and a whole different mindset. And I'm just like, I'm very happy at where I am in life. Coming to see, especially with being a young woman.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you for that. I love that. And I just love just this whole topic around audacity to be, I had a moment last night when I was, just stuff was just flowing, my SS, she called them divine downloads. But so much information was just coming and I'm like, when you understand that the reason why so often you have a problem with somebody else is because the perspective lens that they're viewing the situation from is different than yours.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yep.
Like time and time again. And then for me, kind of flipping it like Gina did, I have the audacity to think that my perspective lens, it should be everybody's perspective lens. Like, I see this way,
I know.
does
Yes.
everybody, and it's like, no.
Yes.
And I think what really hit it is my hubby and I was watching American Idol, and somebody came on and I was like, how did they make it on here? And he was like, you're asking, you're processing this through what you like, but there's a whole world of people that for them, this voice might sound amazing. Just like when you find someone, because that's why I watch it, it's like they find the gems in the rough in that show. So I'm like, that it hit me in such a ripple effect way because it's like, it's just me. So if I show up wholly and fully as me and anybody got a problem with it, that's your problem. Because I get to show up as me. I get to be me wholly and fully. And again, if I'm for you, like you said, like let's share space. But if we ain't for each other, respectfully move around. And the same goes to me. Boom. If somebody's doing something, then you get to move around because their perspective lens is just as valuable as yours.
Yes, sure. And I would jump in because I have to see that. Like, if there's a specific person that I feel that way about, like, I see them in a different light, in a different lens that they see themselves in. So I become angry, I become upset, I start to lose my feelings, I start to use my words different. That's not their lens. Somebody sees them in that light, and that makes them happy. And I have to be okay with that.
And they got nothing to do with you. Like, they nothing. And I think right. We think about how much time and yes.
Easy to say, I, but it's hard to be like, wait.
Right, that's what you said, because that's that mirror, like, what is going on, my reaction, my feelings, what happens within me, that's my responsibility to sit with it.
And I know enough that I think, you know what, I'm done. You're right, because I feel that way. So I need your situation and how the audacity of me to take that on you, because I feel a certain way about yours.
Right, and reclaiming that audacity, because it's like audacity is like one of those trigger words. It's one of those like, what is going on? Right, and it's like we're taking ownership of audacity. Like, so instead of me giving you all of this, it's like that we're reclaiming the I with the audacity. Because like I have the audacity to be me and do me wholly and fully. And the audacity is no longer you. I can't believe you had the audacity to say that to me.
Yeah.
Exactly. No. Yeah. Yes.
Your words, and a lot of times words they talk about emancipation. The world is learning to teach you what words mean and a good word.
Yes.
And the meaning of audacity is the take show excessive confidence or disregard conventional thought or limitations. It implies a daring or fearless attitude, often associated with a willingness to challenge norms or push boundaries in pursuit of one's goals or beliefs. Well-being.
Right,
Right?
your well-being.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, girl. Yes.
I love that you said that about the well-being, because that's the other piece. It's so often, we'll look to other people for them to manage our well-being, instead of it being our responsibility. Like, oh, I'm sharing space with my husband. You should this. You should this. I'm this, therefore it's you. And it's like, I get to take care of me. I'm in charge of my well-being, not anybody outside of me, whether you a man, a friend, a family member, whatever. It is my well-being. And it's not up to you to make me happy. It's not up to you to serve me. It's not up to you to fill my cup. No, I have the audacity to take care of me, and you get to take care of you.
I would want to speak on that. But the audacity of others to think that it is also your job to feel a need that they should be having the audacity to feel themselves.
That's the societal norm that comes into the definition.
Right. Because why should I feel something somebody else didn't feel?
That's how we're doing it. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to, because it's my job to make you feel better.
Yeah.
It's my job to comfort you. Even though, like, I got my own stuff, as I'm helping you through a vantage point that is broken and battered and trauma infused, undabbled with trauma, undabbled with triggers, unawarenesses. So I'm trying to instruct you on how to do something, but I'm all jacked up.
Yeah.
You know, and having the audacity to be aware enough of that, to say, like, oh, and to humble yourself enough to say, I can't really give you advice on that.
Yeah.
Because my own stuff, but we go through life constantly.
Right, like if I can fix you, if I can save you, if I can rescue you,
Yes.
if I can make you and your life better, if I can do this, then maybe that will make me feel better. But instead, it's like all that energy, all that time, all that attention you going into filling their cup and doing for them. How dare you not do it?
Empty.
Yes.
Because what you pour back into
Exactly.
Yes.
And when that's the thing so many people don't understand. The depth into which I can serve you organically when I take care of me, because it's not in my doing, it's in my being where my service really impacts and hits. It's not like, oh, let me take care of this. No, when I am whole, when I am full, when I am illuminating, when I am radiating, when I am taking the steps to really sow into me, the ripple effect will do so much more for you than my doing.
Absolutely.
Because my doing is empty when I'm not full. That part.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
Give you at that time.
yeah.
You're gonna get it with an attitude.
Right.
Like, you have you.
Exactly.
And I don't know how to.
Exactly. But I'm gonna know how to help you.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to fix me by fixing you. Exactly. Oh, look at all my check marks. Look at my accolades. Look at all of this. And I remember, like, when I was in the psychiatric hospital, back in the end of 2021 into the beginning of 2022, and we were doing this exercise, and she was talking about the not the gas mask, the face mask when you ride on a plane, and how, you have to put it on you first before you can help anybody else. And this moment was so transformative for me because I realized my whole life had been about making sure everybody else had their mask on. You have your mask, and I'm dying. And the thing is, like, what the epiphany was, you're willing to die.
Yeah.
You're willing to give your life, and it's not in a savior. That's not a savior. That's not a hero. Exactly, and I'm taking care of you without taking care of me, and I was okay with it. I was willing to die in service of you because I was unwilling to do for me. And that, like, it rocked me to my core because I was like, you think that little of you? You're that unimportant, whatever, that you just willing to die.
And keeping in mind, as my sis said, that it's not in its literal sense.
No.
Death comes in forms in the and as you live too, right? And yes, and then having to have the mourn of those deaths. So like for me, as I just turned 50 today, the death was my old self.
Yes.
This morning when I woke up, it was like a whole, like all the 2 weeks of crying leading up to it, that was the death of the old me.
I told that this morning, I was like, that is so interesting. Because when I celebrated the chapter, it energized.
You're playing
I don't think about it because that.
Nigel.
I wrote this down. Story. I may not have been fun, but what lessons you got? Right, and I take that and I'm like, I'm ready to learn more. I don't look at it as a death. And I don't think you should either, but I get what you're saying. It's twofold.
Pastor
Right,
talked
yeah.
about that on Sunday. He was like, it's not a death, it's a rebirth. And it's one and the same.
That is one and the same,
Yeah.
but just like the energizing, like what's next? I'm ready for a new chapter.
Yeah.
You know, it's excitement because you don't know what's ahead.
But with the death for me has been excitement because I see who I really am and who I've always been, but wasn't to see. Because I had to release and let go of so much, so many things, so many places. Queen of doing of the most, queen that's 300 and something pounds, because I'm doing all of this and I'm putting your mask on, I'm putting your mask on, and your mask on, and your mask on, and the plane is going down, and I'm like, right. And then finally it's like, okay, mask on first. No, I'm doing that. I'm standing firmly in. No, I'm in spaces where I'm not being honored, but we're being respected mutually, where we feed and fuel each other because we all know, and I'll talk, and it talks about it in the book, is that our purpose is not for us. We were put on earth for somebody else.
Always said
Yeah, I mean,
that
we are, and that's why it's the importance of community. Sacred spaces, because my legs are several couple weeks ago, Tiff sent me a post, and it said, like a fierce friend, like you talked about, like, when I'm not in spaces, you're gonna show up for me in spaces. And that's true connection, that's true alignment, because when I win, you win. When you win, I win. Just by sheer authentic connection with women having the audacity to firmly stand in themselves.
Yes.
And be able to receive when information is shared to help me be better, to help you be better. And when it's in those sacred spaces, it's organic and it's in love, it's in truth. It's not to tear you down, it's to build you up. Eric and I were talking a couple of days ago. It was about marriage, and she's like, you know, sis, you gotta remember that in that space, when you're interacting with Mario, depending, because I can come on real hard and real strong. I've evolved, I really have.
I'm so proud of her.
And so I have to remember that it's just like I am when triggered, I am that little person, that little Zendalannette, who whatever that situation is really triggering her. So it could be me at 12, it could be me at 13, it could be me at 5. But that's who he's interacting with, and that's who I was interacting with. So to be able to have those conversations and me not be offended, like, well, Erica, what do you mean? No, it's like when it was shared, because I do know that. I know that for myself, but it's in organic, authentic, and genuine relationships where you're able to be fed. Because that's it, my absolutely. And in sacred spaces, it's like relationships show up here, because you know it's in love. You know it's in truth, and it's all for the highest human and its highest good of me individually, of you all individually, and of all of us collectively.
Yeah, okay.
So I like that.
And I think that's the gift too of, like, even during our easy talks right now, like, we're all sharing from our perspective. That's why I'm like, when you said what you said, Tiff, I'm like, you said what? Like, it's like, you grew up having audacity. That ain't never been my story. So hearing that, that's somebody's real life story. That's somebody's truth. I want to know more because you might not be able to relate to what I'm saying. But there's someone out there who can. There's someone out there watching right now who grew up as a little kid, always having the audacity to show up holy and fully as them. And that's who you're talking to. There's someone like Seema who's been in and out of foster care systems and who's been in and out of the juvenile, all of those things. And you speaking up, you sharing about your journey and how you entered into motherhood with such intentionality. And, you know, I'm just going to put it out here, no disrespect, all due respect, but having the opportunity for almost a year now to witness you has been truly inspirational. The way that you care for your daughter, the way that when you show up, she shows up too. I don't never see you without her. And for me, I've struggled with that. Like, oh, I don't want to have to bring my kids, and oh man, everybody's gonna be inconvenienced because I got my kid. And, oh, what am I gonna do? And what if this happens? And what if that happens? And that's you walking in audacity with an own purpose, with your head held high. You care about her. You're not talking about, oh, I had a baby and now I'm perfect and my life. No, you're grinding. You are out here getting it, and she sees your hustle, queen. Like you being here in this circle, like you are here, like the invitation came from the Most High. Your voice matters, your story matters, what you have to share matters, because there's girls out here who don't know what to do, who are in a corner right now, and they feel like the whole world is against them, and how can they? And you are a walking example of what is possible.
The sun isn't afraid to shine. It isn't afraid to hurt nobody. So I shouldn't be afraid to shine as well. So I said a whole post today, and I got multiple text messages from single moms everywhere. 1 kid, twins on the way, 3 kids, and they're just like, listen, I know you've been through a lot. A lot of people see me back to back, free cinema, this and that, and you know, she's going through some stuff. And now where I'm at now, like you said, like it just makes me feel amazing to finally have, I guess, my flowers and as well bring up others on top of that. Because I never knew how many people were watching me, and to have that much support and to have that much, you know, I guess, what is it called? When you support other, well, like when that inspiration on other people, it's awesome, you know. So I really do appreciate that, and I'm really trying my best, you know. And like you said, it is from the Most High, because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, the way I ran into Erica was awesome. The way I connected with everybody, all I've been asking for is to be surrounded by people that are meant to be a part of my journey. Because going back to what we were talking about, we pour into other people. We have nobody that pours into us. I always was that type of person that had all this energy pouring into other people. And I'm like, hey, I don't have anything left for myself anymore. My life is going left. Everybody else's life is going right, because I'm giving them all the attention that they need to get right. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So once I finally settled down and started connecting with people who were allowing me to do that, I started surrounding myself with just people who were meant to be with me. And that was out of isolation. I started with isolation. I started by myself. I started with nobody there. I remember the times when I was locked up in the cell, and I know this is gruesome, but I would hit my head on the wall repeatedly times until I had blood spots on the back of my head, because I didn't know where I was going through life. And I was only 16 years old. So with that being said, now that I'm surrounded by people, I was just at my friend Quincy's house. Shout out to Quincy. You know, he was just talking to me about fluidity. We were on like a higher aspect of conversation, and that's all I want out of life. So I know. But I thought she was gonna get her hand in the cup. But that's all I want. And I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate everybody that I'm continuing to meet, and I appreciate the life journey that I'm on, because, you know, like you said, we're not perfect. I'm still growing. I was very nervous when I first came in here with my daughter. I just didn't want her to, you know, just everything or make anything fall. But, you know, it's just all about life. We're always gonna go, no matter how we feel.
Right, and she's a princess that gets to be surrounded by queens.
Please, they-
You know, like,
Well, that's what they-
that's big. Right. Do you wanna speak at
You don't have a lesson in debating. Especially when I brought up, like, you know, sit still, be quiet, and listen. Don't speak, be polite, mind your manners. Like, you don't have the audacity to be yourself.
Right.
So then growing up into a woman and maturing as a woman, I know for me, there was no like, I don't show up as myself in this space. There is no audacity to be me. And so for many times in spaces, I wouldn't show up as myself. I would show up as that friend, that person, that reporter, and never myself, never me. And I had a lot of groups and gatherings, and even like my best friend, roommate in high school or from college, I always showed up for them, never me. And the moment where I had to make a decision to cut off those relationships, it was almost like, how dare I?
Right.
How dare I have the audacity to cut off a relationship with a friend that I know, but it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. It wasn't right for me. So having the audacity to do that and make that decision for myself was a huge step. And now I feel like I can show up because I can't be me and show up in a space. I don't want to be there.
That
It's
part.
important.
That's hard. Oh.
So just being able to do that now, like, it is so freeing and so rewarding, and it just means so much. I'm so thankful.
I'm just so happy to share this space with you. We met, maybe
Last
Was
year,
it last
what is
year?
Expo?
we met at the Expo, and when I see your light today, it literally blows my mind. I am so.
And how you show up in the group.
Oh my God. Just, I mean, just really showing up for yourself. I am so.
Audacity of showing up for as yourself is a huge deal. Coming from me personally.
But I'm going to. I grew up always showing up as myself, and they know this. I show up as myself everywhere I go. But there's always someone in the room to judge me, and that used to kill me. It did, always. But I grew up and I realized that the only thing that one person was uncomfortable with was me. Was the fact that I had the audacity to be me wherever I was, that I wasn't afraid to not be me, that I was comfortable with being Gina everywhere I went, how I talked, how I walked, what I talked about, what I did, what I wasn't afraid to share, and I'm still like that, 37 years, I am that. So I do share that and that, because I had to come in the room with the audacity to be Gina, because if I didn't, I knew somebody was gonna tear me down. But you know what? I had people who showed up for me, who was always like, that's just Gina, and that's my best friend. There wasn't oh, she this and that. No, it was straightforward. That's Gina. And all of my friends said, anybody had a problem? No, it was war. Because you're not gonna compromise that space that they shared with me being me, because me being me empowered them to be them. Every friend I have, me being me, the audacity to be me made them feel good being them. That's why I have 25-year friends, because the audacity to be me everywhere I went, even though I was different, made me great. And I still share that space with them same great, beautiful people, because I was never.
And just
Oh my gosh, 37 years.
oh wow, I love it. That's so wonderful. Not fair, but number 30. I got a couple of those.
Yeah. And it's something, because when I wasn't my best self, and it was a lot of years.
Yeah.
This chick had me.
These right
Like,
here.
and it's something that you can't, it's with an appreciation.
Yep.
And I even went through a phase where I'm like, no new friends. If I had that phase, I wouldn't.
Yeah, okay.
Like, and it's one of those things that it's.
It is truly divine. Look at this guy and look at that.
Being able to show up fully and wholly.
And the energy that Soul Sisters share, bringing their 35-year friends, and then the energy we share as strangers. It's divine. It is divine. I said it wherever I go. Say, if that divine energy is meant to be given, then that is where I'm at. And that is where I will be.
That's why you don't want to share space.
So we have the audacity to take care of ourselves, our well-being, to be ourselves. Whether that means to hurt somebody else, or that means to help ourselves.
And then you talked about, or maybe you talked about being able to pull away from those relationships. So let's flip to that. How is, and we talk about this quite a bit, I think, in this third book, and it's about outgrowing spaces. So I share in this piece, actually being in tune and having to accept the fact that I had outgrown it and dabbling with the feelings and emotions of what that looks like. And understanding I really, because I went through a phase of taking it personal. Like, okay, and I was in there and it was like, they were treating me this way. But what I realized and what comes along the journey is that when you outgrow places, God's going to give you indicators, right?
Yes.
And there's going to be clues, there's going to be things. And once I was able to let that shadow part of ego go and say, I dare they not listen to me, they weren't in a position to listen to me because vibrationally we were no longer in sync. Because in that space, I done what God sent me to do, to build the things, because part of my human design is to help get things going and to move it. But I'm not meant to stay there for the duration. And so having that understanding, once I leaned into knowing me and my human design, it gave me a greater sense. But it was the sense of no longer there, this. Again, shadow, that's ego, because it wasn't about me. It was about me doing what I was supposed to do in that space. And that's for those people that are in that space. And so even me as a friend, I'm not one to we don't talk all the time. Tiff and I don't talk. And we might be in the next issue that or and then it was another stuff that I found on Instagram. And it's real adult friendship is about you spend those times. And you don't just pop up. And that in my opinion, I was not able to fully be who I am today at 50 by being everywhere all the time. Because when I was, you don't have time. For me, you talked about being alone. Part of my line 2 is my second unconscious line, which is her. And in that line 2, in that hermit space is where I work and I build and I grow and I do with God. And it's a lot of communion, it's a lot of prayer, it's a lot of Reiki and yoga. I'm doing all of the things. I'm in my Bible. I'm watching church virtually because I'm right now energetically, I'm really intentional about the energy of where I'm around. I'm sure it'll be right now. That's that hermit phase. So I realized that I had to be alone in order to get my true self. I had to be alone in order really to grow and dabble and share those tears. Write those journal entries, do the practices that are in the 21. And in the book, there's also a 21 wellness plan, well-being plan. Okay. And it shares a lot of the modalities that I used and starting with consequences, gratitude and all of that. But it's about being okay being by yourself. And even though I'm the only child, you know, it's like I am the only child. It's still different to be by yourself and really
Yes.
present and be mindful in those spaces. Because it's not like I'm watching TV all the time. I might be listening to music. I might be reading a book. It's about intentionally doing that. So, which is again having the audacity to make sure that I'm good. Because again, we're not just here. I'm not here to be. I gotta be in a space where I can know where I'm supposed to be so that I can do this work.
Exactly.
And sometimes you gotta soul into you and take care of that, or you can go and fulfill that assignment. Because if you're entering into new spaces and old versions of you, you cannot complete the assignment and the mission that the divine gave to you. So sometimes you gotta have that alone time. Sometimes you gotta be in a cell, knocking your head and be like, what in the world? But it is our darkest moments, our darkest days, and or those times when we are alone, allowing the divine to ruminate, to marinate, to plan, to flourish, to shine, those things that we can only experience in those moments of solitude. And then when the gates open, when the doors open, whatever element we're in that's keeping us contained, we can move forward with vigor, with purpose, with momentum, and with the ability to do the work we were called to do instead of thinking, oh, I gotta go here and do this, and thinking with our mind instead of being allowed by the part that is connected to the Most High.
Amen.
Yeah.
At that stage, you know, to yourself. Yeah, loving yourself, because at that stage, you are loving yourself and able to sit in solitude. Because when you're not in solitude, you're not loving yourself.
Absolutely.
So you're ready, you can sit there and just like be at peace, think, feet free, clearly.
Be grounded in the
Yes.
grass or looking out the
Yeah,
window.
one of the things to cultivate what's inside your soul.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because even when we talk about human design and energy, whenever you share space with somebody else, your energy becomes intertwined. So when you're by yourself, yes, so it's like when you by yourself, you get to really like round into your own uniqueness. You get to attune to your uniqueness, because when you share space with other people, you think, oh yeah, this is just the way I am. No, it's not. You're feeding off of their energy. And that's why, like when you said, you get to, you don't have to, you don't need to, you get to be choosy with where you go. I don't care who you are. Your title does not mean that I have to do anything with you. It's always a choice. I get to have the audacity to choose. Amen. I don't care, we've been friends for 30-some years. If it reaches a place where you are no longer of my highest and my best, and I am not of your highest and best, then it is up to me to move around.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about that. How do you break up with your friend, or do you say, will you just kind of do your thing?
I'm not gonna lie, because I've done this so many times, especially recently. I've noticed that a lot of my friends were kind of just, I would say, I don't want to call them haters, but they weren't the best for me, because I would speak about a lot of stuff that I cared about, and they wouldn't agree to it. So slowly, I just stopped talking to them. And then, especially when I went in a hermit mode, I was very watchful on who would reach out to me. Or say if like I really missed somebody, like I just really wanted to speak to somebody, I felt so lonely, I'd reach out to a friend, they wouldn't respond. Knowing I've been gone, they don't know why I disappeared, don't know where I went. I was literally out of, I was out of the city for a really long time. And it made me feel some type of way, but then I was like, okay, so if I don't mean that much to them, then maybe I should just go the other way. And those people still don't check up on me, they don't talk to me, and I just trying to find, because maybe it's at that point where we don't need to be around each other. And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Because they didn't mean you any,
They don't mean anything.
Yeah.
She's talking about,
What does anybody else think? You break up, or do you just?
Friendships are a big deal for me. Me and Jen just talked about it yesterday.
Yeah,
I am not good at breaking up with friends. What I am really good at, though, is how I share my space with. If I feel that you had the audacity to do something as a friend that you know is not the way that I work, you did that.
What about when they don't do anything? You see, and that's that on the wellness journey, that has been one of my one of the things that I've had to navigate. And sometimes, and for me, some of them hasn't been that they've done me harm. But what it is that when we connected, that was my old version of me, and they see me as that version that I am no longer. So it's not a situation.
That person was.
Okay.
You know, it's, you can, when you get, I guess, just get wrong, or get that feeling, you know, or a vibe, when you get that vibe, the way that they're moving, kind of like, oh, shit, I saw, oh, dang, I saw that, you know, you just keep going back and you're like, wow. But I gave you a chance, I overlooked it because I'm grown, I'm becoming a new person. But how far do I take that with keep on letting someone set my boundaries?
And what if it's not even overstep? Cause like, what,
Mentally, it's an overstepping about,
okay,
you know,
okay.
it is.
Do you, because like for me, we've been talking about, like, cause yes, what you're saying 100%. And then there are those relationships where
The season has ended.
and sometimes seats have changed. And
Right.
you know, we
But
talked
that's-
about seats.
It's the seed, but that's the seed, like we attach ourselves like, oh, this has to last forever, or oh, they did so much and what we had was so great, so it has to be forever. And that's something that I've shared with you, and like I'll just put it out there because this is real life talk. Like there was a woman who I had in my life and who came to me at the age of 19. And this woman,
Oh, got it? You good?
she's like, I'm good.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Go ahead, finish talking now. Right, the season, yeah, and I'm like, this woman, like, there's no way I would be where I am today without her presence, without her energy, without her willingness to see beyond my actions and into my heart space, into my soul. And what she gave me over the course of 16, 17 years, it is invaluable. However, we reached a place where our time was over. And it was hard because I'm like, you have been so pivotal in my life. You have been a staple. My kids have a nickname for you. Like, you are everything. But I had to let her go and do her and be her so I could continue doing me and be. And right now, it's no longer. And so what I did, and I don't know if it was the right way, the best way, but I blocked her. And I'm like, it wasn't a vicious block. It was I'm tired of allowing all of the good that you do to excuse these little things that they're not big, they're not major, but they don't feel right with me. It's not even passive aggressive as much as it is like for instance, like we would set up plans. I would get ready, I would go there and she would be MIA. And then she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, you can only do this for so long. Or like we had a meeting and the day before we confirmed the meeting and then I show up at your house, I get ready, I have to get my kids out the door. So I'm hustling, I'm there, I'm ringing your door, I'm calling, I'm texting, and you just nothing. I'm sorry, you can no, and like, right, and my thing is like, yeah, and it's like, there's no love lost, but I'm not okay with how you do you. So instead of making you wrong, instead of making you bad, you know what you're doing, bro. Yeah. Respectfully, you know what you're doing, and if it's right, and that's what I learned, and that's why it's like for me knowing myself. This is the first myself, I love myself, and I'm now in that third phase where I am choosing with intention to honor me. And choosing with intention to honor me had to be creating space between you and I. Because you don't get to treat me like that no more. As much as you've done, as much love as we have, as much love as my kids have for you, you don't get to tell my baby girl you're taking her out to breakfast and then put no call. Just because other times you are there. Other times I call you and you drop everything and you come. But I had to do this balance of you don't get to treat me like this no more. And I love you, but I gotta block you because that part about knowing myself is I will cave and I'll be like, oh, she loves me. This is just her.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why it had to be a block because it's like the block wasn't for you, the block was for me. Because I'm a cave. I'm gonna make your behavior okay. I'm gonna be like, it's all right. I'm gonna reach out. I'm like, no.
I was proud. That year on the way, been there for me, supported me. I know times my down moments and everything, and like what was supposed to be that everything, but it just didn't feel right. So we shared things that didn't feel like that was my. I felt like everything was off. I always felt like I was judged or crazy, and I wasn't. They wouldn't come out their mouth and say anything. But I know I built it in the spirit, and that was uncomfortable. It was just wrong. And so when I decided to break off with those friends, I just had to tell them like, this is my friendship is no longer suiting me. And I'm sorry.
So you're a breaker upper.
Yeah, I don't like.
And that was just to clarify. Because you know what probably
And
break
I
up or
was
you
break
break
up because I was
Right.
Right. But at the same time, so to break up and tell somebody I don't want to work with a friend, it's so difficult. But it was necessary for me to feel like I'm doing what I need to do. I need to tell you this. Because I really wanted them to think about it. Okay, right. I want them to kind of reflect and maybe give a uplift idea. But I would out there and be like, this and this and this and this and this and every time. I just want to be like, you know what, this is me for. And I need to look at the direction. So I'm sorry, but I no longer want to be together with y'all or see y'all. And that's what I say.
And just to speak on both of that, for you, I feel like that's awesome because like not only was that a process, learning this like to actually, cut that off, it could be a process. Like you said, reflect on it. And I want to see back to the secret. We're talking about the friend, like, time is, it's not real, but at the same time it is. So when you play with somebody's time and you play with somebody's, there is, like I said, especially with kids, but it's just especially with you as well. It's a lot. Like getting your child ready is a lot, but getting yourself ready and preparing yourself and saying, hey, I got this time this day blocked off from you. That's just a lot. And then for you to not communicate, at least, give me something while I'm there. You're not, that's a lot. That's messed up. So, I mean,
And still no love lost at all. Like, because I'm like, if how you move and what you do work for other people, congratulations to all of y'all. Y'all are like,
That's the thing too that for me is like removing people. I remove people that were bad to me, but were bad to other people. Because here's something I know my friends who follow me and have seen that I said it before. Just because somebody's good to you doesn't mean they're good.
no, yeah.
And you know what, Jen, I use that as part of how I navigate too. Yeah, because if you come to me, if we're sharing space and you're vlogging, you want hamburgers on your friends, your daughter, your sister, your cousin, your brother, just on just nothingness, but just how you treat them, then how are you gonna treat me? Because all of me has been in relationships, platonic relationships, and I've seen them do things to others. And then when it's done to me, I'm clutching my pearl.
speaks volumes about you. And and people are I love people. People are a big deal, and how dare you?
Right. And I think with that though comes a level of accountability.
Yeah.
Because my thing is like, I don't need you to be perfect. But when you're imperfect, own it. Just take accountability. Like, okay, I was on the train. I know you're not good for me. You ain't not good. Right. So where are you going?
At the end of the day, most people are not good. Why? Because we're domesticated to a certain way, to think a certain way. The way we raise our kids is a certain way,
Lifestyle living.
job, right? And I was in a box for years.
Talking about the audacity to go against social norms. I feel
Yeah,
like
We should get into our.
Oh, okay, yeah, but, and it's just, it's crazy, that whole relationship, because we talk about masculine that we did, talk about all of the various masks we wore. And so like, I think about my corporate hair, and I think about my sorority mask, and I think about the mother mask. One of the things that's coming up for me huge now is that component of dark mother. TRC is dark mother. And it was a result of, is everybody familiar with the term dark mother?
No.
Okay, so dark mother, summarized, is the version of a mother that is raising and rearing her children through her trauma, through her self-imposed suffering, and from the suffering that she's been attributed to based off of her upbringing, and in turn raising her children. So that can come with, I'll speak personally for mine. I used to give my children the silent treatment, didn't realize that. And just as I've evolved and I've done my healing, it's created space for my oldest to share like how I negatively impacted her growing up. And the dark mother is to be able to accept that, to own it, and to apologize for what you did. Because no matter how hard we're working, there is something, if not healed, that you are putting into your child's life. And so that dark mother is acknowledging it, because most times it's like you don't tell me how you feel or what you don't like, and this, that, and the other.
Right.
You do it because I said do.
That goes back to what you were saying, guys.
It's, that's what the dark mother concept is. And so healing, some of the offerings that are coming is healing that dark mother. Only what your traumas are, because like Erica, when we first met, y'all gotta hear this story. The trauma.
Yeah, so when Z and I first met, she was talking about her trauma, and she was like, yeah, the first time I experienced my trauma was in the workplace.
You know my voice.
Yeah. Not really much. She was like, the first time I experienced my trauma, I was in the workplace, and what happened to me in the workplace, and I was like, you grown AF, and the first time you ever experienced trauma was at work. And it was like, but she was so genuine. She was so genuine. I don't really know the lady outside of the here. So, but based on her face right now, I think she's sharing her truth. And I'm like, you don't know the trauma at work. That was your trauma experience.
No, when you look over. I get into that dark mother with the component of
talking about.
And about relationships and social norms.
Yes, yes, and that is definitely a social norm to allow the godmother to just be and exist. And I think for us, so when I first started this work, the main reason for starting this work, and I talk about it in my first two books, is to change the relationship with my mother, because I had it, but it actually took me all that to me, because it was about me. And so having to heal and to let go of the architectural DNA that was unconsciously put into me from not, that raised me in my community. So, yeah, that's a lot.
Right, and I love that you said that unconscious, because it's like, when we talk about domestication, we talk about conditioning, we talk about cultural programming and all of those things. I do believe, like, the system of conditioning and domestication was very intentional, but the people who condition their offspring, who condition their workspaces, who condition their environments, it's often not done from a conscious place. It's just the repetitive. If you want to succeed, you do A, B, C, and that's why I said it goes back to what Darlene said, because A, B, C is different for everybody. But that goes to the conditioning. Oh, as parents, if anything your kid do is a reflection on you. You're responsible. So if your kids are acting a fool, it's your fault. You did that. You're the problem. You need to get some better parenting, because your kid's not listening. It's your problem of what you're doing wrong. That's conditioning. That's domestication. So Oath was like, I'm gonna whoop it out of you. I'm gonna beat it out of you. We break our kids and into these little molds that we want them to be. Shut up and sit down. Or even if we don't say shut up and sit down, be quiet, not now. When it's your turn, when I want to hear you speak, get up, go do this. As a woman, you cross your legs, you sit like this, you do this. This is how you act. This is how you behave as a young, proper little girl or little boy. Stop crying. Get up. Don't do that. What's wrong with you? Why are you all emotional? That's all domestication. That's all the program. And then we dealing with men, we dealing with women who is like, oh, you so like me, I can only speak for me. With this man, oh, you need to treat me like a queen. I'm a woman. I'm a this. And I'm like, bruh, boo-boo. What does it mean to treat him like a king?
Amen.
You so worried about being treated like a queen, and you don't even know how to show up and show a man respect, because you got daddy issues, you done been cheated on, you done grew up seeing your girlfriends be beat on, all this stuff done happened. So when you look at a man, you instantly irritated. You don't know how to talk to him. When he shows his inner child, you think, oh, you a man, you supposed to this. That's all part of the domestication, like, and increasing room and space to pause.
And when you talk about domestication, because it's in these times, we're going to just share that's in the 4 agreements.
Yeah.
And it's also, I talk about that in the audacity to the process of unlearning the domestication. But shout out to Ruiz, 4 agreements.
Miguel
Ruiz.
Don
Miguel Ruiz. Apologies. But it's an amazing, it really helps you to lean into that domestication and help you to see how and I think they might even put in a book, like we're trained like they do dogs. Like how we can be trained, and that's okay to do exactly what we need to do, but just we have the audacity to teach and instill in our kids to be who they were. And that's beautiful.
I tell my son to be like, Mom, you always, but he's like, you always, I could tell you anything. And you're like, okay, baby, go do that. I said, because I don't care. If I give you expectations, person I'm disappointed, you don't do what it is. You can disappoint yourself by following your own dream. I'm disappointed. And as a parent, why disappoint myself? Why not let you be you, and you disappoint yourself so you can learn the lesson that you need. Because I learned that. I'm here. Yeah, yeah, I'm back.
So
Do you?
you still have a lot more learning, so I'm telling
That,
you,
yeah,
you should.
yes, and I do, we share space, me and my son a lot, yes. And then, you know, how Erica said, a young lady on top, culturally, a young black lady, she told me that her parents never apologized for anything. They never took accountability for emotions or actions. Or said, I was wrong for this, you were wrong for that, we're gonna agree on this, right? So, I was talking about my son, she said, Jenna, that's so beautiful that you do that. You let him come to you and talk to you like that, and then y'all do that. I'm like, oh, you fine. Oh, we keep it out. But at the end of the day, I was like, you're being disrespectful. Like saying what I want doesn't make me disrespectful. And I'm like, in this moment, yes, it does. You can come back to me and we can talk about it all. But right now is not the time and space. But I allow him to have time and space to have an opinion, to tell me how he feels, to have his emotion, because it's important. I'm raising a man. He needs to have a know that he can have that emotion and tell another woman or another person. My
And know
time.
how to identify
That's
when
right.
someone is manipulating.
Yes, yes,
That's the hurt.
yes. And he's seen me go through a lot. So a lot of his opinions come from his queen being mistreated. Because even when he mistreats me, I'm still his queen. But in his mind, when another man or another person mistreats me, that doesn't make me a queen. Because he sees my queen. And our children don't see us as weak. We think they do, but they don't. We see that because we recognize it as weak. To them, that's a struggle. That's the thing. Mom comes through. Mom fixes it. Mom is strong. When she fall apart, it ain't really falling apart. So when my young king sees me not doing my best as being a queen, he get attitude. And he doesn't know how to express it because he's only a young king. So I have to allow him his space to feel it, to tell me how he feels. Even if it hurts, he told me hurtful things. But they were real. You were dumb. This, you sat there and did this. And I would cry. He hurt me. But you know what he did? He was right.
You know what you see.
He did.
Yeah.
That's my man. That's my king. That is who provides for me. And then when I'm sharing the space with somebody who's not doing it and he's making it recognizable, I pay attention. But do you know that the domestication of the outside world tells me I'm wrong for listening to my king? Because he's my child? No. I share this thing.
I'll go outside of the home and not hear.
That part. That part.
Because otherwise, you're not giving it to them. And no, you have to. You have to be able to have an opinion in
Yes.
the home, even though it's a child within.
Yes, within reason. Within.
Because you want them to be.
Amen.
They're lost.
Yes.
An interview.
Yes.
You understand when someone's being disrespectful to him
Very right.
and when they respect him.
Yes.
And how, he'll know how to control his emotions.
That part. Navigate both. That. And that I don't want to dark mother him because by doing that I only shelter my own child. He knows how to cook. He knows how to do laundry. We don't have gender roles because I don't want him to have to know what it's like to be treated as a king. He already will leave my home knowing what it feels like to be treated like a king. He doesn't have to wonder. He doesn't have to even exchange. He can treat his queen how it feels like that queen because he's doing it for me in the way that he thinks that I can, the way that he communicates with me. I please him. So if there's a problem with his communication, mirror.
And it's also having kids that are older. Consequences of it. Even though the intention was there, that dark mother because of conflict within me. I mean, it manifested in a myriad of ways. It manifested in weight. It manifested in how I interacted with them. And now I'm seeing that like I wholeheartedly send my daughter a text. It's, like, hey, because that's her feeling. So as I feel, it's that ripple
Exactly.
that you're able to say, oh, okay, like in real life. And then my son was like, Mom, when I'm a little bit older, I'll tell you about some things. I was like, oh, no. I was like, I guess I gotta keep doing this. Done it for you. You gotta be ready. He was like, no, I wasn't. You have to. Yes, and your children, unfortunately, are the first ones that experience. Yeah. Even with your greatest intention, even with the greatest of focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How long for time?
Well, then we gonna round about with the last question and wrap it on up and give everybody, so you pick the last question, everybody have opportunity to answer it, and then we can close.
I also want to know on this Easy Talks Jenn food here with the tea.
Oh, it's
And so, please, we're not gonna end it. We're gonna end it today because y'all know we love to learn, we love to do like we're around. We're gonna do it.
Oh,
I see what it is.
And I don't want it to be playing. I mean, I feel like so if you think about audacity, then you think about audacity, a bold risk, show excessive confidence, and I won't go through the whole definition. But if you think about the definition that we shared already, in an audacity state, I that will have the audacity to show it for myself as well. So we'll each have a statement, and I won't start because I want you guys to flow. So as you think about your journey thus far, you think about the intention that you are going to continue to put in being your best version and you traverse. What audacity to say? How will you show it for yourself? Statement. And we can start with I, say your name, have the audacity to do this thing by whatever statement you choose.
I, Simma, will have the audacity to live in my multiple awesome personalities by being confident that I am me. And I got a lot going on. There ain't nothing wrong with it.
All right. And we don't go again to shine in your way that you
Hey.
I, Jenn, have the audacity to show up with my arms out and throw tea parties.
in any area that I attempt to accomplish or reach my goals and my dreams in I, Jenn, have the audacity to continue upon something that in the way that I find for me to thrive. Follow my dreams where I want and to continue to allow to tell God and here in my space and become and I will feel right.
So I, Erica, have the audacity to throw my hat into the ring of life as is.
I will close with, before we close, okay, Jenn, how can we find out about your tea? How do we find out about your tea time?
Oh,
Well, you can find me on Facebook at Jennifer May. And I will put more information there.
Her Facebook page is coming soon. It will be Tea Time with Jenn, Jenn. Keep your eyes open. The business page is coming. So get ready. That is where you will find her. She will have her contact information. She will have pictures, and she will have all of the details that anybody needs to either buy tea or set up to arrange a consultation to have the one and only Green Girl present a tea party and juices.
Amen.
And we'll also add it to today's report. Okay? Thank you so much.
Tea Spice Merchant, it's down in Kalamazoo Mall. I didn't see that, yeah.
And then lastly, again, real quick, before Zendalannette closes us out, I just want to give a huge special shout out to Kalamazoo Backyard Yogis. This space shall be, girl, please keep doing what you are doing. And thank you for allowing us to hold such sacred space in your space. So thank you. Kalamazoo Backyard Yogis.
I feel that how about that clothing with intentionality, with radical action, that's all of it being divine to fulfill my purpose. And all that I am supposed to be on, I have to work so that I can be present and mindful of what I do. That's divine order and divine to.
Thank y'all for joining us.